now we know, of course, we also now know why that match was on Rampage, but they should put important matches on that show anyway. Yes, agreed. So it comes out, so within the hours of the show being filmed, late. One of the perks of being a night owl is sometimes when news breaks late, I see it. So, but it was funny because one of my friends who writes for a website, we both write for the same website, he is in Hawaii. So it was like normal time for him. And I was catching up on I had not finished the GCW show and I was in the middle of watching Speedball versus Rina Yamashita. And I see a message come across my phone and they're like, so Jade is going to WWE. And I was like, what is he talking about? And I was like, no, Jade is wrestling Chris Statlander on Friday. And he was like, so she's not leaving. And I was, because I had no clue what he was talking about. And so I got on Twitter and I happened to see the report from Fightful saying that Jade was supposedly done. And I was like, wait, and so and he was like, oh, sorry, I should have posted this with this because I had no clue what he was talking about. I thought he was just, I was like, what is this man talking about? And
What's happening?
And then I was like, hold on a minute. And so, yeah, so then the rumors came out that Jade was finishing up with AEW, that was reportedly her last match on her contract. And then she was supposedly heading to WWE. There'd been rumors for a long time that WWE was interested in Jade, and why not? Look at her. Of course,
she's 100% WWE's jam.
Yeah, I was like, of course they're interested.
You know what it just made me think of now when we were talking about Becky and moving her to NXT? As I was sitting here and I was thinking about it, and I waited until we got to this part.
Mm-hmm.
They may have moved Becky in there to help Jade.
That's okay. So right when that rumor broke, that's actually something John Alba tweeted. He was like, this might be why Becky won the title.
They're good person to help because Jade needs more time. She needs to be. I know that a lot of people are like straight to the main roster, and I'm like, I get what you're saying. She needs time in the ring.
Well, WWE is structured differently.
Completely differently
because nearly every indie wrestler who comes into WWE has to go to the Performance Center to learn the WWE style of wrestling. They strip you down of everything that you've learned, and they get rid of all your indie-ness.
WWE boot camp.
Yeah, basically. And then you've got WWE's, obviously, the way they film for TV is different, and so they pace things differently than other companies do. So I don't know if this is what's going to happen. What I think would happen is she goes to NXT. She wrestles Becky Lynch. Maybe she eventually wins the title from Becky. Then perhaps she either is in the Royal Rumble and stays on the main roster, or she's in the Royal Rumble, gets people a little excited for her. Then she debuts the Raw after Mania. Maybe that's how they do it. Maybe she has a Mania match. Maybe they put her in the Royal Rumble and she wins it, and that could be how they do it. But I don't see.
That seems
I understand wanting to put her straight on TV because look at her.
Of course.
She's got charisma that you can't teach. She's got the it factor.
Yep.
And the things that she's not as good at, WWE can hide and kind of work with her. So I think WWE is a really smart place for her. I hate that AEW is losing her. I think she's just I've been a huge fan of her. So of course, she needs some, and there's some things in ring, which of course I've never denied that, but just her character and her presence.
But they haven't used her right either. I mean,
there's a lot of things that they could have still done with her. And so I understand
the TBS belt transition, because it was so rushed, was really
which
like
is why, and so that's why, because people were
wasted. It felt like not completely wasted, but definitely bled a lot of what they could have. They bled a lot of potential out of that transition.
Sure. And especially because we all knew Chris was supposed, according to rumors, Chris was supposed to have won last year's Grand Slam. She was injured. So instead of having Jade drop the title to Ruby Soho, who she beat to become the inaugural champion, or they could have had her beat Mercedes Martinez could have beaten her, or Willow. She wrestled Willow 3 times. There were things that they could have done, but they clearly wanted Chris Statlander to be the one.
Yep.
So they did that, and then but the way was kind of shocking and jarring, which I get what they were going for. It just didn't translate well. So because people kept asking, like, well, then why did she come back to Collision and why is she wrestling her one match? I think that was why they were like, we will give you a redo, give you a proper match with Chris.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll send you off. Of course, we'll send you off at 60-2, but we'll give you the proper match. They got 11 minutes. And that was Jade's best match that she's had at AEW. She and Chris had so much chemistry that fans were chanting "Fight forever," and this is awesome during that match. That is huge praise, obviously, for any match, but for Jade and Chris to get that, like, I thought that was really. I was so happy she got that. Like, if that was her swan song, which it turns out it is, it was reported this morning that her contract is done and she's expected to report to the PC this week.
Oh, wow. Okay. I haven't seen that, but
yeah, I saw that this morning. I've seen that from a couple of places. So she's supposed to report sometime this week.